Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. We're gonna take a look at some source material today, and extract some pretty interesting nuggets of knowledge, I think. And we're gonna be diving into the world of laboratory data acquisition and how it's been transformed by handheld computers. You know, way back in March 2002, William L. Weaver wrote this article. It's pretty fascinating because even back then he saw how things might unfold. And it's really interesting to see how some of his predictions have panned out.
Yeah, it's remarkable. This article really captures a moment in time when scientific research was going through a real transition. Like in 2002, the idea of using something like a Palm Pilot to control a lab experiment, that was revolutionary.
It's really like taking a step back in time. Like you can picture these labs
Yeah.
just filled with these clunky desktop PCs. They give them tons of space. And always at risk of getting a coffee spilled on them.
Oh yeah, Weaver actually talks about that. He even mentions how researchers would play solitaire on these lab PCs. And it's not because they were slacking off or anything, it's just that there wasn't much specialized software available for these new handheld computers.
It really just highlights that sometimes you need to have practical applications to drive innovation. It's kind of like the whole chicken and egg problem.
Yeah.
Handhelds needed useful software to really take off in labs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what started to happen. This article highlights some of the real trailblazers who saw the potential of these devices.
Like Ocean Optics with their Palm Spec spectrophotometer. This thing was incredible. They figured out how to connect it to an HP Jornada handheld PC to control spectroscopy measurements. And for those who aren't familiar with that, spectroscopy is a way to analyze the interaction between matter and light, so scientists can identify different substances.
And they were doing it all on a handheld device.
It's amazing.
And it wasn't just miniaturization either. Think about all the possibilities for field research.
Yeah. Scientists could finally take their experiments out into the field.
Exactly. They weren't chained to their desktops anymore. They could collect data in real time.
Another cool example is Coherent Auburn Group's LaserPaid. This device replaced the traditional laser power meter control units with a Windows CE device, which not only saved space, but also provided more flexibility.
I mean, imagine controlling laser power remotely from a handheld device.
Talk about cool. And then there was Datastic Systems with their MyCordette data acquisition system, which plugged right into the modem port of a Palm device, so researchers could record and view measurements in the field. It's like an early version of the mobile lab setups we see today.
All of these early adopters were way ahead of their time. They understood the limitations of traditional lab setups and saw how handheld computers could offer so much more. Flexibility, portability, new avenues for exploration.
It's really incredible to think how these simple devices paved the way for the mobile labs we have now. Makes you wonder what other groundbreaking ideas were brewing back then that have now become completely normal.
That's a great question. And it really speaks to the vision of people like William L. Weaver, who saw the potential of this technology, even when it was just getting started. But these were just the early days. The real revolution was still to come.
I mean, it's really pretty amazing to think about how far we've come since those early Palm Pilot days.
Oh, yeah.
We live in a world now where smartphones and tablets have more computing power than those huge lab PCs ever did.
It's incredible. And,
Yeah.
the software, it's evolved just as dramatically. We've got these sophisticated lab instrument control apps and data analysis platforms, all designed for mobile devices. It really is like having an entire research lab right in your pocket.
Yeah. And we can't forget about the cloud. It's been a total game changer.
Oh, absolutely. Researchers can access and share data from anywhere.
Collaborate in real time.
Yeah.
Analyze these huge data sets without being tied down to a specific spot.
Exactly. It's really changed how science is done. But you know what I find even more exciting? Is how all these advancements are kind of blurring the lines between the lab and the real world.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, think about citizen science projects where, everyday people can contribute to research. Just using their smartphones,
Right.
that wouldn't even be possible without this whole mobile revolution.
It's really amazing. It kind of democratizes science, makes it accessible to more people. It reminds me of something Weaver talked about in his article, about how these handhelds could help researchers in developing countries who might not have access to typical lab equipment.
Absolutely. It helps level the playing field.
Yeah.
And opens up new possibilities for discovery in places that maybe haven't had those opportunities before. And, while we're talking about pushing boundaries, what about some of those futuristic possibilities that are coming up?
Okay. Yeah, let's get a little speculative. I'm ready for some mind-blowing ideas.
All right. So imagine fully wireless labs where scientists are controlling experiments
Yeah.
and analyzing data, all in real time, from their tablets, or even augmented reality glasses.
Whoa, okay. That's next level. You could be walking through a forest, analyzing plant samples as you go, using AR overlays, no more carrying heavy equipment around, or waiting for lab results.
Exactly. And think about this. What if you had, like, AI-powered lab assistants built into these devices? Like, imagine this intelligence system that can guide your experiments, offer insights in real time, and even suggest new research paths based on your data.
That would be incredible, like having this super smart research partner right there with you, constantly analyzing everything. It could really speed things up.
For sure. And it could free up researchers to focus on the more creative side of things, Less time on data crunching, more time brainstorming new ideas.
Right. But with all of this potential, we have to think about the ethical side of things, too.
Absolutely. As scientific data becomes more mobile and easier to get to, we have to be really careful about things like data security and privacy, protecting information, ensuring data integrity, preventing misuse. All of that is critical.
And what about bias in AI systems? If these AI assistants are trained on data that already has bias, couldn't that make things worse?
You're right. That's a really important point. We have to make sure these AI systems are developed responsibly, focusing on fairness and inclusivity.
It feels like we're right on the edge of a whole new era of science, where technology helps us explore the world in ways we never thought possible. But like any powerful tool, we have to use it carefully.
Yeah, I agree. The future of science is exciting, but we're the ones who have to make sure that technology is a force for good, that it helps us learn and understand, while still doing things the right way.
Well, we started with those bulky PCs and scientists playing solitaire, and now we're talking about pocket-sized labs and AI assistants.
It's been a pretty wild ride, hasn't it?
It really has.
Reaver's article, from back in 2002, really captured a turning point for science. He saw what handheld computers could do, when a lot of people just thought they were a fad.
And he was right. We're seeing his vision become reality. It's changing how science is done.
From field research to citizen science to mobile labs, it's hard to deny the impact.
It's exciting, but also a little bit overwhelming to think about what's next.
I know what you mean, but that's what's so great about science. There's always something new, always more to learn.
And with all these amazing tools we have, who knows what we'll discover?
That's the question I'll leave you with today. As you go about your day, think about how technology is changing the world. What problems can we solve? What new possibilities are out there?
It's a challenge to be innovative and explore the unknown.
Keep asking questions, keep pushing the limits, and never stop exploring.
And that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.